Since the 1980s, American cinema has used intensified continuity to construct the shots in its films. Film theorist David Bordwell believes there are several core components to intensified continuity that are mostly absent from earlier films. These are: 1. The average length of each shot in a film has become shorter over the years. 2. Scenes are built up by closer framing. 3. More extreme focal lengths are used. 4. The scenes include an increased number of camera moves. This intensified continuity can be attributed to a number of factors, such as 1. The director's desire for more shots to give more options in the editing room. 2. The popularity of MTV. Director Lars Kasdan states in the documentary The Cutting Edge, The Magic of Movie Editing that the generation of people who grew up on MTV and 30-second commercials can process information faster and therefore demand it. 3. TV's close-up style, which is amalgamated with cinemas due to directors, writers and editors, as well as technology working in both mediums. And 4. The commercial success of DVDs demands films must also work on the small screen too. Simply, classical continuity went out of fashion and Hollywood has had to supply demand. But is this change a positive one? Intensified continuity tries to rivet the viewer to the screen by presenting new visuals and information repeatedly and quicker than ever before. Film theorist David Bordwell, for example, stated rapid editing sets a commanding pace, and if you look away you might miss something. Modern films have been labelled post-classical, but in fact they still generally follow the basic rules of classical continuity. These are: establishing shots situate the actors within the scene, the actors are distributed evenly within the frame and address the audience, and an axis of action governs and matches the actors' eye lines and orientation. Modern films still use this as a basis to ensure intensified continuity is understandable. However, classical techniques used for moments of emotion, such as close-ups, are the stuff of normal scenes today. We are accustomed to them and they don't hold the same impact as they once easily could. Cinema has also been robbed of long, deep-focused takes which emphasized body language and allowed meaningful staging to be employed. Intensified continuity has evolved beyond classical requirements to create new exciting visuals, but pushing or breaking classical rules risks spatial and temporal discontinuity, a problem many film theorists believe is occurring as intensified continuity is pushed further. The editing process can highlight why. Film theorist Wendy Apple states editors once labelled to preserve the illusion of continuous time and space, but now purposely fracture it. Why? Because by making certain cuts, an editor has the ability to manipulate the audience's reactions. Intensified continuity can encourage different reactions and emotional responses from the audience than classical continuity. Old cinema arguably allowed its audience to be absorbed within the film's desire for realism. However, intensified continuity can struggle to do this as we become aware of its overt construction. Tim Blackmore states that intensified continuity moves the audience through space and around objects more quickly than the eye can comprehend. That visual information is scattered unpredictably and unevenly, and detail is saturated at such a rate that there can be no maintaining the pace. These components all lend to the theory intensified continuity doesn't allow an audience to be absorbed by the visuals. Intensified continuity thus has its creative and stylistic problems, but by breaking away from classical continuity, cinema has been able to evolve and present new exciting visuals and set pieces, something cinema audiences have always demanded and what is now expected from the generations brought up with intensified continuity's traits.